Brian Kelly's LSU Tigers prepare for their trip to Columbia to face off against South Carolina on Saturday, September 14th, they find themselves in a bit of an uncomfortable situation at this particular point in the season. A season opener loss to USC, a let's say less than stellar showing against Nicholls State, and now South Carolina, which is coming off a big win against Kentucky and Lexington. The pressure is on for Kelly, and for some, the narrative he's currently touting just doesn't ring true. Providing a different viewpoint, former LSU defensive tackle Marlon Favorite, who, after a message from our sponsors, sits down with Jeff Palermo and Todd Horn to discuss the current state of the team, pick apart Kelly's recent comments, and even plug his new album, which will soon be undoubtedly on heavy rotation here at Tiger Rag headquarters. I'm your host, Jake McMains, and we'll jump right into the discussion after a quick word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Mike Munderland, and we're here to smash the capital city's trash.
Smash My Trash is a revolutionary compactor for large dumpsters, sometimes reducing the volume of waste by up to 70%. This means fewer hauls per month and big savings for your business. Fewer hauls and compacted waste will also result in a positive impact on our community and our environment by taking up less space in our local landfill sites. Schedule your company's free demo today. Call 225-497-0101.
Y'all ready? Yeah. Let's go. Come on.
Tiger Rag Radio is on the air.
Let's crank this thing up.
We're statewide, breaking down the latest happenings with LSU athletics.
This is us.
Hear from the coaches.
Put together a defense that puts us in a position to win the SEC.
The players.
Having fun and we working, baby. That's it, baby.
The recruits.
Show some passion and some heart.
And those who cover the Fighting Tigers of LSU and the SEC.
All those things are going to be there, which are important.
It's 2 hours of nonstop LSU talk.
What a privilege. I mean, you get to represent LSU.
Tiger Rag Radio is brought to you by Cummins. Cummins creates power solutions that the world depends on. Helm Paint and Decorating. The paint experts of Louisiana. Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Max Home. And the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Get ready to talk Tigers with producer Jackson Blackman and our hosts, Todd Horn and Jeff Palermo.
Three great players that are better people than they are players.
This is Tiger Rag Radio.
I think, didn't we see this movie last year in a way, right? I understand they had a running game with Jaden Daniels, and they were the most explosive offense in the country, so it's hard to knock it. But what we saw last year was an offense that could score at will for the most part, but a defense that couldn't really stop anyone, and you couldn't develop a running game at times when you really needed it, like in the Ole Miss game, right?
Right.
When you're up late in a ball game and you can't figure out a way to.
Yeah, you're in your 4-minute offense with 2 minutes to play, and you need to milk the clock.
And you can't do it.
Right.
And you couldn't. The Alabama and the Florida State games get away from you because, again, you really can't run the football and you become one-dimensional. So we've already seen that, and we've seen what the result is, and it's not it's not going to lead to championship football. As cool as the passing game is in football, I mean, you still talk to every coach that says in order to win and win at a high level, you have to run the ball and stop the run. And now we do have Marlon Favorite, by the way.
Oh, good.
But when you don't have Jacoby and Guillory, I'm really concerned about this team's ability to stop the run. And so that's
a good segue.
That's an excellent segue to Marlon Favorite, former LSU defensive lineman, member of the 2007 LSU National Championship team. We had your former teammate on earlier in the show, Derry Beck, with Marlon. How you doing tonight? I know you got some hurricane preparations you're probably trying to knock out right now.
Yes, we are, man. You know how we do it in South Louisiana. We got to cook all of it in the deep freezer just in case the ball goes. But hello, somebody. Ty, Jeff, thank y'all so much for having me on tonight.
Oh, man, it's great to have you on, Marlon. What do you think about the loss of Jacoby and Guillory? How big of a blow is this for LSU?
It was a huge blow to LSU. You have your veteran defensive lineman, Jacobian was one of those guys up front that had the most experience, most SEC playing time on an area where last year they didn't do well. He was a bright light coming into this year. A guy with that experience could come in And Coach Kelly even said it himself, Jacobian had made such great improvements from when he first got here to now. So that was just bad news for the Tigers when that happened.
So, Marlon, statistically, and I agree with you about Jacobian, but statistically, he only had 2 tackles in the USC game. But what was his importance on that defensive line as a former defensive lineman, even though his statistics weren't glaring? What was he doing?
Well, he was being able to hold up double teams, play strong in his gap. A lot of time as interior linemen, we don't really get a lot of stats. It's usually the guys around us that get the stats. So there's a beneficiary of some of my hard work y'all had on the phone earlier, Derry Beckwith. Derry would tell you right away, man, look, Fave and Glenn would, hold all those double teams down, and we could fly free, me and Ali Highsmith. So Jacobian was able to be that, what you say, guy cleaning up all the dirty work in the inside. So now we turn to Sean Washington in particular, and possibly, should I say, a Dominique McKinley running a red shirt too early, just to provide depth at that position, because we're going to need it. Hey, y'all, we're going into SEC play, so we're better game than South Carolina to prepare for Ole Miss coming, Alabama coming, and Florida's going to play us hard regardless. So I mean, I know Coach Kelly didn't want to start getting these guys reps right now, but you may have to due to the circumstance.
Will this change the character, the style, and the personality of that defensive line? Though, will they become more, gamble oriented? Will they do more stunning? Will they do more gaming with the offensive lines now that they don't have their stopper in the middle?
Well, I think Coach Bo Davis and Coach Baker is going to figure something out in regards to how they're going to make up for that absence. Maybe Sean steps up and has a stellar game against South Carolina. But stunts are something that we may see. You may see some run stunts that we feel like we're having trouble manning down those gaps in the middle. Coach may want to switch to some run stunts to be sure to, for one, that throws the center off big time in the middle, being able to have to now communicate, pick up run stunts, but that may give us an advantage in the middle.
When you watched the Nicholls State game, obviously LSU wasn't, into it as much as they probably should have been. But do you agree with Coach Kelly when he watched the tape that he said that Nicholls State did not out-physical them in the trenches, or do you think they did?
I think they out-physicaled us in the trenches, particularly on the offensive line. Like our offensive line, and I have a couple of clips in particular I saw where they were just more physical than us. Mm-hmm. And maybe Coach Kelly was referring to the second half, but that first half, I mean, I was in awe. Listen, Jay-Z said this in one of his songs, right? By the way, my album Lover is out streaming right now. Hello, somebody.
What's the name of the album? What's the name of the album?
Lover. Lover is my second studio album. I look, guys, this was me getting out of my comfort zone. I did a full-length R&B album.
Because you're not a lover, you're a fighter, right, Marlon? Is that why you say that?
That's the whole thing. Listen, every song is some type of love. We even have a song on there called "My Love" featuring Cupid Shuffle. My boy Cupid, do the Cupid Shuffle. He's on my album, so y'all check it out. Todd, Jeff, I'm telling y'all gonna love the album.
I'm going after it as soon as I get out of here.
I think it's going to be new bumper music for us.
Yeah.
There you go. I like it. But to that point, Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Look at Nicholls State's running numbers. Look at Guggenheim. He had 150 yards on the ground, and they didn't out-physical us. So we have to be honest with the play of LSU. Now, who's the better team? LSU 10 times out of 10. But that was an FCS school that saw a wounded dog. We're off of a USC loss, and I don't care. I watched the trenches that entire game. Them boys they was pushing. That's where Harold Perkins got that flag.
Yeah.
Because he was like, hold on. So listen, we have to tilt our hats to our in-state opponent, Nicholls State. They came to fight, and that they did. I have to be honest.
It's time to start betting on yourself. Louisiana 988 can help if you're dealing with tough emotions caused by gambling habits. You can share as much or as little as you want, and it's completely confidential. It's free, available 24/7, and most people who reach out report feeling better right in the moment. Call or text 988 anytime.
How important is this weekend at South Carolina for this LSU team?
It is extremely important, guys. This weekend, this is SEC play. That's one. You have a South Carolina team who came off a big win against Kentucky, another SEC opponent, handsomely too. So you have a team that's motivated. What's motivating them even more? When the last time college game they was remotely interested in catching the game in South Carolina?
Exactly.
Like, we have to look at it like this. This is a motivated team. So for LSU, it starts tomorrow. It starts Thursday. Getting off your feet when you're not at practice, when you're not in film, proper nutrition, make sure you have some vitamins, do everything you got to do to give yourself enough carbohydrates and energy leading up to this game. Hydrate. It's an early start. Pre-game meal, guys, is going to be like 7:30 a.m. Like, you get up out the bed 6 o'clock, pre-game meal. We watch a little bit more film before we get on the bus, and this thing is going. You all wet and lathered up from warming up at 10:50. You about to kick it off at 11 o'clock. So for LSU, we're at the disadvantage right there, right? We the one that have to travel. We just traveled from Vegas, played Nicholls State. They came in there just a swinging, and now we got a short week. So LSU goes out there and they win handsomely. They put themselves back in a position to say, hey, we're still a powerhouse in the SEC as well.
Did you watch a lot of the South Carolina-Kentucky game?
A good bit of it. We were preparing for pregame in front of the PMAC, and me and Brandon and Hunt, like we usually do, went upstairs, got a few fat snacks. I didn't do as many, and they had all the screens of it, and we watched a bit of it. And one thing that I caught on to is South Carolina got after it right now. Like, it wasn't one of those games where they just kind of lingered around and tried to put. No, they came out physical. They came out with a game plan, and they came to play. Hey, y'all, it's no more SEC West, SEC East. We are family. It's all of us. It's survival of the fittest. We everybody's going to fight you. Look who's looking good. Vanderbilt looks halfway decent. Mizzou is a powerhouse. Have the best wide receiver in college football in Burden. Like, you look at our schedule. Ole Miss, they're not taking a step back, right? You have them. Alabama's playing.
Tennessee.
Oklahoma. Tennessee. Oh, my gosh. Between Tennessee and Missouri and Georgia, I mean, those teams are going to play. So for LSU, listen, we have a quarterback. We have receivers. We have linebackers. We have a wounded defensive line. I like our secondary. Ashton Stamps, even last year, we thought, oh, my gosh, we're in trouble against those Alabama receivers. I thought him and Teviano held their own. So it's just going to be, it's not the ideal situation to have co-coordinators on offense. That sucked my senior year. We had coordinated defensive players, and it was horrible. Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. So I hope that we get. I think that might be a slight issue on offense. I may be completely wrong. We could pull up a number of scenarios, guys, where that worked out.
Right.
We got to pull it together.
What do you think the chances are, Marlon, that South Carolina out-physicals LSU this weekend?
I don't want to sound like a pessimist guys, but Nicholls State was physical with us. I mean, I understand what Coach Kelly said. They were physical with us. I mean, I could pull up that game film right now. Now, if I'm LSU, I'm ticked off. They're not going to sit here and talk about me like I'm some softy. So I hope not. I hope that's a valid answer. But I can't with confidence say, oh, no, we're going to out-physical them. Now, I hope when we do our post-game and we're excited after a win, right? I hope it's along the sound of, that's what I'm talking about. That's the physical LSU team we know. Yeah. I don't want to go out there and say, man, I hope that clip don't make ESPN not top 10.
Marlon, Marlon's always very entertaining. Again, tell us your second LP that's dropped here. Lover?
It's called Lover, baby. Yes, indeed. Big Fave Lover on Apple Music or wherever you stream your entertainment.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Stay safe this week with Francine. We appreciate it as always.
Man, thanks for having me, fellas. Hello, somebody.
Marlon Favorite on the Max Home Hotline. We'll be back after this here on Tiger Rag Radio.
Have we got a September for you? Your East Baton Rouge Parish Library has 3 opportunities to meet author Jerry Pallotta, famous children's book author of Who Would Win? See art by Clementine Hunter and enjoy the sounds of the Baton Rouge Concert Band. These are just a few of the special things happening in September with your EBR library. Details are at ebrpl.com. That's ebrpl.com.
All right, that'll be it for today's show. I'd like to thank Marlon, Jeff, and Todd for the discussion. We'll be back later this week, but until then, stay tuned to TigerRag.com for all your latest LSU sports news.